I believe it was Clone Corner 99. I did a video talking about all of the Unleashed Star Wars figures. At least all of the ones I had. Because I had the Shock Trooper, this Clone Captain right here, and the Arc Heavy Gunner. All three of those are really cool. However, I was missing one. And I finally got it. Essentially, it's just the Clone Captain without the red. So, I finally have the plain white Trooper. And I still want to keep these in the package. However, these packages are identical. There is nothing different about either of these packages. You can see this side right here just shows off the plain white Trooper, and this side right here also just shows off the plain white Trooper. So, I don't really need to keep both of these in the box. And I've always wanted one of these Unleashed clones out of the box. And I've been waiting to get the plain white Trooper in the box for a good deal so I can open the red one. Because I like how it's like all this box is the plain white Trooper, this is the plain white Trooper, and the box is repetitive. I don't really need the same thing in the box twice. So I'm going to open in this Clone Corner today my first opened Unleashed Clone Trooper. I do have an Unleashed Jango Fett that I have opened up, but I don't know, I've always wanted to see one of these clones out of the box ever since I was a kid. And I've been waiting very patiently to get this. And I finally found it at the toy department for only 20 bucks. And the card and everything is in really good condition. And thankfully my Clone Captain box is not in very good condition. So I feel a little bit more comfortable just tearing that open and finally looking at one of these clones out of the box. So I do want to give you a little bit of a close-up of the plain white Trooper, because it is really cool. It's such a great sculpt. It's so iconic to me. I love these Unleashed figures. If you don't know what these are, they're essentially figures that came out, nearly 20 years ago, I think. 20 years ago, exactly, 2003. These came out 20 years ago, and essentially they were 6-inch scale, a little bit bigger, but 6-inch-ish scale action figures. Well, sort of action figures. More like action statues of various Star Wars characters, typically in very dynamic poses. So you can see the clone here, like, he's going to be stepping over a downed clone, and he's all running and everything. And on the back, we can see Luke on Hoth, and Chewie looks very dynamic. That gives you a pretty good idea of what this line can offer. Thankfully, looks like this is already kind of opening up, so let's just keep that going. Finally, after all these years, I have opened up my Clone Captain, and we can take a look at this thing. There are some twisty ties, but thankfully I came prepared. I have snippers. We're just going to snip this guy out. I'm not going to keep these twisty ties. Thankfully, so far, I'm not seeing any rubber, because rubber makes all this way worse. Because the rubber, after all these years, like, dries and deteriorates. Oh, never mind. There's some rubber. There's some rubber, guys. Never mind. Oh, boy. Hopefully it's not too bad. Here's the base. That came out pretty quick. I love how the clone has, like, a shatter in his visor. I always thought that looked really cool. And this is, like, a full-on body. Like, this is a full-body clone. He's looking pretty rough. I'm pretty sure he is very dead. So as far as I know, this is one of the only dead clones Hasbro's ever made, like, a toy of. His armor is scratched to hell. He's got bullet holes. You can actually see some of the jumpsuit in between the torso and the abdomen armor. That's really cool. You can tell it's probably Geonosis, which is nice. Funny thing is, this base is used for also the Arc Gunner. And funny enough, on the Arc Gunner, I think it's the captain. It's the captain that is looking like he's downed. So I think that's so funny. It's almost like a callback to this figure. Like, oh, after all these years, it's the captain that gets killed. So if you want to check out the Arc Gunner as well, you can definitely check out my old Clone Corner, because I've already, talked about these. So those rubber bands, yikes. Because for whatever reason, they always made the weapons, like, separate. Like, you can take the weapon off. We can see all this rubber stuff is just deteriorating. It's just coming off. It's just, ugh, yuck. Yuck. I'm going to have to clean up the desk anyway. It's got tons of, like, twisty tie stuff on it. I wonder how much articulation this really has, though. Because I know there's always, like, a little bit of posability to these. Like, can you move the head at all? Can we move the head? No, we can't even move the head. I don't think we can move anything. I always thought we could. That's so funny. I mean, I guess that's why I wanted to open one of these. I wanted to actually see what it had going on. But this is really cool. It does actually have metal rods to go in the base. Like, this is a full-on statue This is really, really cool. It does have an original trilogy collection product pamphlet. We've got a minute. Let's take a look at this real quick. I love looking at product pamphlets. If you want to skip it, here's the time. But if you want to skip it, clearly you were not alive during this time to find this nostalgic. So you're aging yourself. Anyways, we can see some of the awesome original trilogy collection figures. I love the TIE Pilot. I think the TIE Pilot was probably the best out of this range. That Princess Leia head sculpt, though, that's actually not bad. That's actually pretty decent for Carrie Fisher. Never was a big fan of that Boba Fett. That was like the one that like could fall apart easily. So that's pretty interesting. Here's essentially the same figures, just full body. Was this like a checklist? No, it's just like a summary of all the characters. If you want to pause and read that, feel free. But right here, we've got some figures. So different Luke, Comtech Stormtrooper. I've got so many of that figure. Nice chrome C-3PO. I wish they'd still do that nowadays. But yeah, pretty decent stuff right there. I loved the Empire Strikes Back ones, especially the Yoda and the Luke, because the Luke actually came with alternate parts to have him like ride, or have Yoda ride on his back, or have him do the handstand. That's really cool. I had that Snowtrooper growing up. That was the only original trilogy collection figure I had growing up, was that Snowtrooper. Actually, Officer. You can see it's got the little rank badge. This is the Millennium Falcon. They reissued the Power of the Force Millennium Falcon and improved it a little bit for the original trilogy collection. And the Millennium Falcon, obviously, from Power of the Force, was just a reissue of the vintage one, just modified and improved. So that's really cool. I love that Falcon toy. I know everyone just loves the BMF one nowadays, but I still have a soft spot for that mold. And some Return of the Jedi figures. Actually, just got that Biker Scout in a P.O. box from Official Opinions, so that's pretty cool. Here's the checklist. There's the checklist. So essentially, this collection was like a celebration of the original trilogy before the prequel trilogy came along and did the Revenge of the Sith line. So it's pretty cool. This was like 2003, 2004 when this line came out. Cool looking TIE Fighter, X-Wing, and then obviously you gotta have electronic lightsabers, right? That's just a necessity. Electronic Ask Yoda. I don't know if I had that exact one growing up, but I know I had one electronic Yoda, and I never liked it because it always looked really weird. Monopoly, Star Wars, and then whatever this is. Are those books? I think those are books. Very fun. Very fun. Yeah, Lucas Books. Oh, that is nostalgic right there. It's just as nostalgic as, like, the Win Kid from Lego. Go you will to starwars.hasbro.com for cool games and insider news. I always did. Whenever I saw that, I'm like, let me go to StarWars.hasbro.com. I always played those games on the website, like the Comic Builder, things like that. Very fun. Oddly, they're advertising Beyblade, G Revolution, and Zevos. Zevos is actually something kind of down my alley, because that's like a robot assembly collection. I do have one Zevo guy. I might do a video on that someday, but probably not. So, there we go. There's that. Here's the little cardboard insert for this. I don't know if I'll keep that. That actually might look cool as like a base for this. Maybe, probably not. We'll see. Anyways, let's actually assemble this. We've been waiting long enough. So I'm going to assume that goes there. And is he going to be stepping on his bro or just stepping over his bro? Because I don't think that rod goes there. I think he's going to go in like this. Yeah, this is how he goes. So he's stepping over his poor bro. So there we go. After all of these years, I finally have an Unleashed Clone Trooper out of the box, on display, looking gorgeous. Let's get in close again on this. This is so cool. Look at that paint. That is pristine. You do not see paint like that from Hasbro anymore. Like, that is pristine. That helmet sculpt is really good for a Phase 1. Not perfect, but pretty good. The armor's looking nice. It's got a lot of the right details. This is a very high quality piece. I'm loving it. I love the transition to like the dirty boots. And this poor guy, again, he has just as much detail as his commander, or his captain, I should say. He is so detailed, and poor guy, he's dead. He's a goner. He is an absolute goner. He's got a straight up hole in his chest. And I love the shattered visor again. I think that looks really cool. This is such an amazing piece, and it's a pretty decent quality too. It really is. Now I do want to bring down a like a Black Series figure to kind of give you a comparison. I'm just going to grab the most convenient one for me. And that's going to be the 501st. So you can see it is a larger scale than Black Series. So if you saw this and were thinking, oh, maybe that'll look cool in like a Black Series diorama, no, it was advertised to be like a 6-inch 1/12 scale statue kind of thing, but it's a little on the larger side. I would say this is probably more in scale with like a 7-inch sort of thing. So if you have any like Diamond Select, Star Wars, maybe these would scale a little bit better with them. But yeah, there's not too much to say. It's just cool. It's cool to have it after all these years out of the box. Because now I can have the plain Phase 1 in the box. And I don't feel guilty about, opening it. Because I love the boxes on these. And I don't have the shelf space to have all these like out of the box. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just get one to open. And I want to make it the Captain. Because I'm not the biggest fan of the Captain. Like the red and everything. But I don't know. It's kind of Captain Fordo-esque, I guess. That's probably why I really like it. And also, it's not the one that was featured on the box. So it's kind of unique having this one out of the box and keeping the plain Phase 1 in the box. Alrighty. I do want to see how this might function as like a little surround. That kind of works. That works kind of well. I kind of like that. But I don't think I'm going to do that. I can see some people doing that. That would probably look cool for like certain displays, but I think I'm good. I think I want to leave it like this. I do have quite the mess to clean, though. I've got rubber band shards and twisty ties all over the desk. But thank you guys so much for watching. I've been waiting to do this for quite some time, and I'm very happy that the toy department finally got in and unleashed plain Phase 1 Clone Trooper. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about these Unleashed figures down in the comments below. I've got them all now. I've got them all. This is one of the few Clone Trooper collections I can say I have every single one. Black Series, technically I can, but I didn't get the Bad Batch Season 2 ones, so I don't know if I can say that anymore. But I do have all of the large Unleashed clones. I can at least say that. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much again for watching. Special shout out to channel members, as always. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.